How's it going, guys? It's Josh here. Welcome to another video. So you've seen low profile keys before. They're fairly common. You see them on a lot of keyboards. But what you don't very often see is low profile keys on a mechanical keyboard with glorious RGB lighting. Enter the Tesoro Gram Spectrum, which Tesoro kindly sent out to me for review. Now, in terms of looks, this is probably one of the best looking keyboards I reviewed. Obviously this is always subject to opinion, but to me it's one really nice looking keyboard. It's extremely slim, the chassis is less than 1.5 centimeters thick in the middle, and because it is so thin you expect it to weigh nothing, and also be quite flimsy. However, it's actually pretty hefty, and despite mostly being made of plastic, it almost feels like a solid slab of metal due to the metal plate that covers the entire surface of the keyboard. There's something very premium feeling about this keyboard. It actually feels higher quality than something like the Corsair Strafe, which is quite interesting. The packaging isn't really anything special, but inside we do get the keyboard, a cable and a user manual. Speaking of the cable, it's also very nice and matches the quality of the keyboard. It's a good thickness and is braided for extra durability, and it's also removable, which is a feature that I think many keyboards in the market are lacking. It's not micro USB though, it's mini USB. I'm not sure why they decided to go for this particular connector, but it's not really a big deal. Talking more about the keyboard, it comes in two colours, black and white. Unfortunately, I couldn't get hold of the white version at the time, and I think this would have been my preferred choice. Layout wise, it's only available in US layout. We get two very wide retractable feet on the back of the keyboard. Unfortunately, they're not the best quality though. They're quite thin and don't really lock, so if you push forward on the keyboard, they just fold back in. I do like how simple the rear of the keyboard is. There's no silly contours, it's just clean. The same goes for the front of the keyboard, no crazy angles, and the logo sits out of the way at the top right of the keyboard. The font is quite unique. I would say it's tastefully stylized. So moving on to the main selling point of this keyboard now, the keys and the switches. It looks totally different to normal mechanical keyboards. The keycaps are about half the height. The Tesoro Agile switches are built by Tesoro themselves, and as you can probably tell by the name, it's pretty clear they're going for a very fast switch. They have a shorter travel distance of 3.5mm and actuation point of just 1.5mm. It definitely carries over to the typing experience too. They're very fast and very light. I normally only use blue switches, so when I first started using this, it took a while to get used to how light the keys are. Once you do get used to it, however, it makes for an effortless typing experience. Also note that the switches still use the standard cherry stem, so you can technically switch out the keycaps if you wanted. I don't see why you'd want to though. They are very comfortable to use, and the fact they're lower profile means there's not so much a need for a wrist rest. Moving on to the lighting. Slightly mixed feelings about this one. I think Tesoro have done a good job of the actual backlighting itself. It's very bright, and on the white model there's some really nice light diffusion. Also, the lights seem to fade between colours much more smoothly than other RGB keyboards I've seen. It's just the software that lets it down a bit. I was quite excited when I found out it had software. It almost makes a keyboard seem more grown up. Unfortunately though, it's just not that great. It feels clunky and just isn't user friendly. I've seen it said by other reviewers, but who on earth did they get to do the preset colours? The red preset is hot pink, the orange is yellow, and the green is turquoise. I've no idea what happened here, but luckily you can fine tune these. There's a good selection of effects, a lot of reactive touch modes, there's a breathing effect, and of course that classic rainbow wave, which by the way looks great. Customization wise, you select your colour from the illumination panel and then select the effect. There's a default PC mode and then 5 extra gaming profiles, which once set can then be selected with these function keys. Other function keys include multimedia controls, an N key and 6 key rollover. Like I said, the software does leave a lot to be desired. I don't think Tesoro have really maximised the potential of this keyboard, which is a shame. For example, where's my pause button for the rainbow effect so I can just have it static? What is good though is that you can do a lot of stuff on the keyboard itself. You can adjust brightness and switch between effects with the arrow keys. In conclusion, the Tesoro Gram Spectrum is in many ways a fantastic keyboard. It is unique with its sleek minimalistic look, it's very good quality, and those low profile keys and fast switches make for a lovely typing experience. Unfortunately, it is a bit let down by the clunky software, although hopefully that's something that Tesoro will fix. But in the meantime, if you're willing to have a bit of patience with it, the Gram Spectrum is definitely worth checking out. Thanks for watching today guys, have a good week, and I'll catch you all in the next one.